So today we're here to talk about social skills, the soft skills advantage. And so I'm Mara McLoughlin. I'm the program director here at IRL Social Skills. I have 15 years of professional experience working with neurodivergent individuals, including youth across the lifespan. I have both my bachelor's and my master's in communication science, and I am a licensed speech language pathologist, nationally certified and licensed in both Oregon and California. I'm also certified as a peers provider by UCLA's Semel Institute for Neuroscience and Human Behavior. And I am a member of the Oregon Commission for Autism. So before we dive into the presentation, I'd like to ask you all, so what exactly are social skills? Just pop your thoughts in the chat box if you don't mind. Let's see, what are people saying? What are social skills? I know, what are we talking about here? Looking at the chat. The things that we do to help each other communicate. Okay, great. The things we do to help each other communicate. What else? Politeness. Yeah, politeness. What else? Hanging out with people. Yeah, how to say hello. Yeah, interacting with others. Absolutely. So great answers, everyone. I am, and for our purposes, we want to clearly define what social skills are and look at why they are so crucial to having a fulfilling, safe, meaningful life and relationships where we feel like we belong. Human beings are social animals, and we have developed many ways to communicate our messages, thoughts, and feelings with others. So social skills are, by definition, the skills we use to communicate and interact with each other, both verbally and non-verbally, through our gestures, body language, and personal appearance. So that's what social skills are. Just like that. And what is said is influenced by both verbal language and the way we use it, tone of voice, volume of speech, and the words we choose, as well as by more subtle messages such as our body language, gestures, facial expressions, and other nonverbal communication methods. And this is true for everyone, regardless of neurotype, nationality, or gender, including for our non-speaking or nonverbal communicators. So what are some other examples of nonverbal communication? You can come off mute or you can put it in the chat. Eye contact. Yep. Fidgeting. That's another nonverbal cue. Being stiff. Yeah, facial expressions. Great. Yep. Social norms are collectively held beliefs about what kind of behavior is appropriate in any given situation. They range from specific customs, for example, the Western custom of shaking hands with somebody when you meet them for the first time, to more general rules that govern behavior and influence our understanding of other people. So, what are some other examples of social norms? Yeah. Someone said, how close you are to someone. Yeah, proxemics. We call that body proxemics. Someone else said, no hugging, please. Yeah. So those are some more examples of what we have here on the slide. Saying bless you when someone sneezes, for example. So there's a lot of various social norms. Say hello when you walk into the room is a social norm. Yes. These norms can vary between cultures, age groups, and genders, and other differentiators, and they can have a significant impact on how people communicate with one another. For example, in some cultures, it is considered rude to make direct eye contact during a conversation, while in others, it is seen as a sign of respect. Social norms can be understood as what most people think and do, or alternatively, what we think most people should think and do. And social norms can be tricky to navigate for many of us. Understanding norms and ourselves and our preferences helps us deal with social norms more effectively. It doesn't mean we're necessarily agreeing with them. There are many reasons why navigating social norms can be difficult or exhausting for people. Autism, ADHD, and other forms of neurodivergence often are accompanied by communication challenges. Social anxiety or trauma and other factors can contribute to difficulties. And just being stressed out affects our ability to deal with complexity differently at times. And because we learn most of our social and communication skills from our families of origin, many of our challenges can be inherited. Even great parents can fail to model social and communication skills if they weren't adequately taught these skills. So it's important to note we are not blaming our parents for any difficulties we may experience as adults. We are simply acknowledging the source of social skills instruction for the vast majority of us. As adults, we are facing new stressors to the ways we relate and communicate. Our always on, digitally distracted virtual realities have caused us to atrophy. Our social and communication skills are breaking down. Social skills are like the muscles that make relationships possible. Weak communication or social muscles result in relationship difficulties. But there's good news. Social, relational, and communication skills can be learned and strengthened. So before we continue, I want to just hit the pause button and invite you all to move your bodies a bit. You can stand up and stretch if you like, and just turn your head to look to the right and to the left slowly. You might feel a stretch in your neck or shoulders, but don't go so far as that you feel pain. And then I invite you to just look around the room that you're in. Look at something pleasant, something that brings up a feeling of delight. It can be an object, an image, a color, a plant, a pet. Turn your head as you look around the room. Don't just look with your eyes. And once you have this delightful thing in your sights, take a pause and a deep breath in through your nose, holding it ever so briefly before exhaling through your mouth. So that little pause to notice our surroundings and move our body and breath is one example of somatic experiencing, a tool we use in every class as the foundation to prepare ourselves and our nervous systems for learning new skills and engaging with others in new ways. Soma means body. Somatic experiencing is simply slowing down enough to pay attention to the signals within our body and brain, which is our nervous system. It's a practice that helps us to attune to physical sensations, slow down and pause fast energies, wake up and balance our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, and change the way we experience the world. And our nervous system should really be called the relationship system, right? Since it is so formed and founded in relationship, even before we're born. Through body-based practices, we attend to our nervous system, which helps us know whether we are safe in our present moment and environment and act accordingly. And we cannot communicate well or connect with others when our nervous system is stressed or feels threatened. Somatic experiencing helps us to increase our compassion for ourselves, increase our access to our personal power, and trains our nervous system to increase our ability to act on our goals and values rather than being dominated by rote, habit-driven behaviors that may not align with our values and goals. So by now you might be saying to yourself, what does this have to do with social skills? In fact, everything we do with other people involves social skills. Whether we possess poor or excellent communication skills impacts every area of life and every relationship we have. Dysregulation, also known as emotional dysregulation, is an inability to control or regulate our emotional responses. Examples of dysregulation include mood swings, and an inability to curb impulsive behavior or angry outbursts. So if we could catch those behaviors in time, we would see that they are not usually the most effective way of communicating with others or living according to our goals and values. Regulation is when our bodies feel safe and relaxed. Regulation is expressed sensationally, meaning of the senses, through feelings of joy, ease, and pleasure. It may be expressed behaviorally by making choices that nourish us on a deep level, or by setting healthy boundaries. Or it can be a physical expression, right? Our chest is open, our shoulders relax, eye contact gets easier. We may sigh, our jaw muscles relax. And the body speaks to us through sensations. It doesn't speak to us through words, it speaks to us through sensations. So being able to listen to the sensations is a critical social skill. Every class in our 12-week adults coaching program begins with 10 to 15 minutes of somatic exercises so that we can increase self-awareness, calm our nervous system, set the stage for better learning, and improve our resilience when we encounter a stressful situation. Self-awareness is the floor. If you don't know who you are or what you want or need, how can you communicate your desires and needs to others? So when we say self-awareness is the floor, we mean it's the foundation to strong social skills and healthy relationships. It's why we start with self-care practices like somatic experiencing before we start practicing other communication skills. When we are aware and well-regulated, we will be able to co-regulate and connect with others more effectively and more likely to mutual satisfaction. Animals discharge stress and trauma by shaking their bodies. Humans are animals too. And we can use shaking and bouncing to discharge our own stress or after a stressful encounter. Again, I invite you to either stand or you can remain seated and just start wiggling. You can do this off camera if you prefer. Let your arms dangle loosely and flop around, shake your head, wiggle your shoulders. We're gonna shake for 1 minute and then sit still and feel the energy in our bodies. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, pause. You can close your eyes if that feels okay to do that. And just sense what's happening inside your own body. How does everyone feel? Can you feel tingling or any other sensations in your body from this experience? Feel free to share in the comments. Silly, giddy, energized. Yeah, tapping into the ventral vagal, contributing to our overall sense of well-being. Yeah, a looseness. Before we get into the specifics about the classes and what a coaching engagement looks like with us, I want to let you know, if you haven't guessed it by now, that IRL Social Skills is a neurodivergence affirming space, meaning we welcome all brain types or neurotypes. Our core social skills were developed to support autistic individuals, but we've learned that most people benefit from strengthening these skills, regardless of whether our brains are typical or atypical. So whether you identify as neurodivergent or not, and whether you choose to disclose that information publicly or privately, we are here to help people of all neurotypes improve their relationships. So what is neurodivergence? Neurodivergence is a non-medical term that describes people whose brains work or develop differently. Neurodivergent people have different strengths and struggles from people whose brains develop or work more typically. Some people who are neurodivergent have medical conditions, but many may be neurodivergent even if no medical condition or diagnosis is identified. Neurodivergent people often see the world differently than their neurotypical peers and may find social norms confusing or frustrating. Neurodivergent people have different strengths and struggles from people whose brains develop or work more typically. They often rely on patterned behaviors that are at odds with social norms or that make effective communication difficult. Of course, each of us have our own unique communication styles and preferences, but in developing strong social and relational skills, we want to focus on learning positive techniques and skills that help us achieve our goals in our relationships with others, as well as in our relationship with ourselves. Some people who are neurodivergent, um, it's, whoops, yeah, and, I just wanted to say that we're not here to diagnose anyone. We just are simply using the latest in neuroscientific research to inform our approach to building better relationships through improved self-awareness and communication skills. So what are the consequences of poor social communication? They're pretty significant. Greater social isolation, fewer close, meaningful friendships, poor friendship quality, fewer or more unstable romantic relationships, more dependence on caregivers, less of a likelihood to live independently. There's higher rates of under and unemployment, and there are workplace struggles or being passed over for advancement. So let's shift now into the particulars of what you can expect throughout our course. Our adults course is a 12-week program that meets once a week on the same day at the same time. The curriculum focuses on communication skills and their practical application to social, dating, and work life. And we assign practice for participants outside of class time each week, preferably with others in the same group. For weeks 1 through 4, we will target essential communication skills for everyone. Weeks 5 through 8 will be around navigating social relationships, and week 9 through 12 will have a professional and workplace focus. And our classes each week build on the previous class, and practice is assigned to help you strengthen your skills in real life. Yeah, so we have practice assigned each week. We have office hours available throughout the week. All of our class materials are accessible through private member areas. Our interdisciplinary team truly aims to over-deliver. We know that this is a very underserved niche, and we are here to serve. Our program is trauma-informed and holistic. And we also offer private one-on-one consultation with participants after the group program concludes to really, discuss their progress and then the next steps. What you can expect from participating in our program is improved personal relationships with family, friends, romantic partners, authority figures, coworkers, employers. And we also use pre and post measures to help determine your progress over time. Okay, so what questions does anyone have for me? You can come off mute or just put it in the chat. One thing I didn't talk about is the cost. So the cost is $2,500 for 12 weeks, an hour and a half a week, plus our office hours and consultation. Our billing code has been being reimbursed 50, even 100% of the cost by insurance companies. So that's really great news. Yeah, we have financial aid and payment plans available for this class. The class, our first adults 30 plus class will meet from 6 to 7:30 p.m. starting February 29th. And that is Pacific time. So once we launch that, we will launch another class to accommodate those in the Midwest and Eastern time zones. And what else? How does insurance pay for this? Yeah, so the code, yes, I can totally send you our sample super bill so you can check with insurance. And also we do have I have an assistant who is a whiz at reaching out to insurance and determining your benefits for you. Yeah, and so here's yeah, the insurance the insurance whiz is really outstanding. And she's just in my office. Our, like I said, the course begins Thursday, February 29th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And oh, if you can't attend every class, that's okay. We do record the classes so that you can watch the class replay. Yeah, if you have to miss two, you can watch the class replay. I mean, we want you to, um, attend. If you're not there, it's harder to learn. And it's that live interactive piece, that experiential learning component that is what makes our program so effective. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. I am going to, oh, one more question. Yeah, how does this translate to real life through virtual? Great question. So outside during the week, we do have practice with other group members to practice the skills that you learn in class. And this is a class that you take at home from the comfort of your home. And then you're more equipped to go into various social settings and use these skills and have a flexibility, right? To be like, oh, I'm in this setting, I'm going to use these skills. I'm in this setting, I'm going to use these skills. I'm in this setting, I'm going to use these skills. But if you have a limited repertoire of skills, then you don't have the ability to use those skills in various settings. Yeah, great question. Yeah, you're welcome. Of course. And all right. Well, thank you, everyone. And we look forward to seeing you in class.